Hello everybody, my name is Dr. Alex Eglinger. I'm a physical therapist with Intent Rehab and Performance Physical Therapy. Today we're going to be going over bench press modifications and adaptations that you can be doing if you're having any sort of pain while bench pressing, as an entry point when you're trying to recover from any sort of injury to improve a weak point during your bench press. Options that we're going to be going over today are going to be the floor press, the neutral grip dumbbell bench press, and a block or board press bench press. So we don't believe in completely stopping a movement. We want to find some sort of entry point when you're recovering from an injury or having pain with bench pressing. We're not the type to say you can't do something completely. You may just have to stop something temporarily or find some sort of modification. And these three exercises are good options and ways to start when you're experiencing pain with your bench press. So it's important to modify some sort of factor when you're returning to bench pressing or having pain. So one of those modifications is going to be your range of motion. You can start with a smaller range of motion, right? Don't do the whole complete movement in which you normally would do. This would take some sort of stress off of that area. Another thing we could do is reduce the number of sets, the number of reps, and the overall intensity. So instead of doing an intensity of 80%, maybe let's try an intensity of 50% and see how the body responds to something like that. We can change the tempo of the movement. We can go a little bit slower, really feeling your control throughout the whole entire movement. Understand where you're having some of your pain and symptoms and really be in tune with your body. You want to modify one factor at a time. If that one factor is not enough, maybe try modifying another factor. We don't believe in avoiding something completely forever. Sure, we might avoid something temporarily, but we have to find some sort of entry point and build from there. These exercises might be a good option for you. Here we have a board press or a block press. So we have the foam pad that attaches to the barbell here. Another option would be using a 2x4 that could be placed on the chest. So this is a great way to modify the range of motion, especially if you're feeling some sort of pain in the anterior shoulder. Maybe you're recovering from a pec strain, and this is a great way to build some strength back up while modifying a painful range of motion, right? As well as we're not getting down to the lower ranges of motion where it's going to put a lot of stress on the anterior shoulder. So if you're having pain benching, this might be a good alternative in the short term, right? So here we're going to have Jillian do 5 reps. So you go ahead and take it out. So it's also a great way to modify and improve any sort of weaknesses you may be having in your bench press, right? It's a great way to work on lockouts. If there's a sticking point in your lift, you could get the foam pad to be exactly at that weak point, and you can build some strength in that range of motion. It's also a great way to burn out the triceps for an end of a workout, as well as developing some power through the triceps to assist with the movement. Here we have Jillian performing the floor press. This is a great option to limit the range of motion, to add some extra stability on the ground. If you're experiencing pain in the chest and the anterior shoulder, it's going to limit the range of motion, and it allows us to get a little bit of a load on our pecs as we're building back up to our floor press. If you're having any AC joint pain, this might be a great option because it's not going to go into that larger range of motion where it's going to put excess pressure on there. Grip bench press with dumbbells. So the reason we're doing this is the dumbbells are less restrictive than a barbell, right? We're going to have a little bit more degrees of freedom in our shoulder and allow a little bit more room for error, right? So this is a good position to be in when you're trying to recover from some sort of injury and get back to benching. It's a good alternative, and it's also a great exercise for the inner pec, building some strength of the triceps as well.